Where's my comments? Alright, let's bring that in just a little bit. Okay, cool. Good, good, good. I can hear myself. Close that down, bring that down. Okay. We just gotta open up the Arena client, and then we can get started. I saw a news posting saying that Microsoft wants to buy another company, and this time they have their eyes set on Steam. That makes me a little worried. Okay. Let's go ahead and swap on over. Hey, there we are. Okay, so what we're doing tonight is we are taking a look under the hood of each of the new starter decks that we just got for rotation. Now, rotation has not happened yet. That's going to happen in about probably like 15 more days, something like that. And then we'll be playing with the new rotation of cards. But they gave us these starter decks early, so we're going to take a look at them and we're going to see how we can upgrade them and maybe play a few games with each. So what we have here, so we have Ancient Discovery. It is a red and white Discovery deck. We have Crack the Case. It is an Azorius Clues deck. Desert Oasis is a blue and green Desert Matters deck. We have Dynamite, red and green dinosaur tribal. We have Fairy Pranks. It is a blue and black fairy deck. We have Outlaw Posse, which is black and red. And then we have Power to the People, which is a white and black, like 2 or less power matters kind of deck. Oh, and we have a couple more down here. We have Saddle Up. That's a white and green mounts deck. We have Second Chance, which is a blue and red Spellslinger deck. And we have Snack Time, which is a black and green food matters deck, I guess. So let's take a look at Ancient Discovery first and see what we can do to potentially upgrade this deck. So, Attentive Sunscribe. It's a 2/2 artifact. Whenever it becomes tapped, just scry 1, so it's kind of meh. Petrify, that's a pacifism effect. Guardian of the Great Door, as an additional cost to cast a spell, tap 4 untapped artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control. It's kind of like a roundabout Convoke. I'm not too sold on it, though. I mean, paying 2 white and tapping down 4 dudes. I mean, if this was just straight up Convoke, then that would be like a 6 cost 4/4 flyer. I'm not too keen on that. Connecting the dots. Whenever a creature control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down, discard your hand, sacrifice connecting to the dots, put all cards exiled with connecting the dots into their owner's hands. I think you can do better with like impulse draw than this. So this feels kind of weak to me. Stockpile and Celebrant. Enters the battlefield, you may return another non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, scry 2. We kind of have that in the form of the new fairy that just came out. Thousand Moons Infantry. It's a 2/4 for 3. Untap 1,000 Moons Infantry during each other player's untap step. Okay, so this is a card that kind of wants to be used in Convoking. Tinker's Tote. Here's the battlefield. Create 2 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens. Sacrifice the tote. Gain 3 life. So it's kind of like a food token. Brazen Battlemaster is an orc pirate. When attacks, if you control 2 or more artifacts, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. I'm surprised I haven't seen that one before. It's interesting. Ateli's Favor, that's pretty decent. +1/+1 and Discover 3. We have Mine Raider. Enters the battlefield. If you control another outlaw, create a treasure token. We have Anum Pakal, War Leader's Call, Altec Cloud Guard. Enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token, and the gnome is a 1/1. On the job, creatures you control get +2/+1 until on a turn and investigate. Curator of Sun's Creation. Whenever you discover again for the same value. This ability triggers only once each turn. Kaparakti Sunborn. When attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. If you do, discover 3. Okay, I could see this one. This one has potential if we filled the deck with a bunch of like clue tokens and stuff like that. So we might be able to use this as like a semi build around or a role player. We have Daring Discovery. Up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn and discover 4. That is pretty expensive. Geological Praiser. Love that card. Bone Horde Dracosaur, flying for strike 5/5. Aurelia, the Law Above. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia, the Law Above deals 3 damage to each of your opponents, and you gain 3 life. And Hit the Motherlode. 7 mana, discover 10. If the discovered card's mana value is less than 10, create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the difference. And lands, we're looking at Hidden Courtyard, that's the white Discover land. Plains, Hidden Volcano, that's the red Discover land. Then we have 8 mountains, 4 abraded bluffs, which is a desert, and then Inspiring Vantage, which is the red and white fastland. Okay, so I want to set some rules for these upgrades. I don't want to go above 15 rares. I think like 10 to 15 is pretty doable when it comes to building an upgrade to this style of deck. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and I'm going to copy this deck. I'm going to go up here to my decks and we're going to build a little something with this. So this will be Ancient Discovery upgrade. Boom. Okay, so that's the one we're going to edit. And we'll leave the original alone. So probably what we want to do is we want to add in a bunch of creatures that come into play with like clue tokens, things like that. So where my mind initially goes to, well, first up, let's go format standard, please, because that's the format we're building for. Go collected, not collected, and we're doing white, red, and colorless. So first things first is I need to find a little guy that gives me clue tokens, and that little guy, where is he? Okay, well, let's do this first. We need to set the filters right, because we are building with everything that is going to be standard legal. So nothing from Streets of New Capenna, Kamigawa, Innistrad, or Innistrad. So that's what we're going to go with. First thing is we're going to do creature. There he is, Novice Inspector. So this is definitely the first thing that we want to be playing. So we're going to run 4 of these. Now, I also want to increase the count on Kaparakti Sunborn. I think this is a really good card to like use as like a middle of the game kind of workaround. Or build around, I mean. It says whenever it attacks, you may tap 2 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control. If you do, discover 3. So we want to fill the deck with a bunch of like clue tokens. So let's look for the term investigate. Okay, so that gives us Novice Inspector. Ooh, Wojak Investigator. This could be good. Flying Vigilance at the beginning of your upkeep. Investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. Now that's going to be pretty easy to do if we're dumping our hand early. So Wojak, I think if we put a 2 of her in there, I think that would be pretty decent for us. So let's go and do that. Let's see. Innocent Bystander. Whenever Bystander is dealt 3 or more damage, investigate. Nah, that's kind of crap. Let's see. What else do we have here? Meddling Youths. Haste. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. No, I don't think so. Okay, so that's a good start. It's a good start. So we got Novice Inspector coming in, and we have Where's it at? Wojak Investigator coming in. So now we need to make room for these cards by removing 6 cards. So let's find the weakest cards. A 10 of Sunscribe. When it becomes tapped, scry 1. I don't think that's too weak. I think this can still be useful. Especially because it does work alongside Kaparaki Sunborn. So you Petrify. Enchant artifact or creature. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. I think this would be better used as an ossification. So I'm just going to dump that right now. So that'll pay for the 2 Wojaks that we just put in. We need to find something to remove for Novice Inspector. Probably, well, let's see here. It's an additional cost to cast a spell, tap 4 untapped artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control. Okay, well, you know what? If we're going to be filling the deck with investigators, I think the Guardian can actually stay in the deck. I'm going to get rid of Connecting the Dots. I just straight up don't like that card. Stockpiling Celebrant. Enters the battlefield, you may return another target non-land permanent you control to Summoner's Hand if you do scry 2. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this card. Okay. Thousand Moons Infantry. It has potential. It has potential because you can use this to tap to pay for Guardian the Great Door, or to pay for Kaparaki's ability, and then untap it on your opponent's turn. So it does have potential. Tinker's Tote. Enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens. Okay, I think I kind of want to keep this, just because of the fact that this can do a lot of work towards paying for other abilities. So I think we'll keep the Tinker's Tote in. Wojak Investigator, we just added that in. Brazen Blade Master, 2/3 for 3. Whenever it attacks while you control 2 or more artifacts, it gets +2/+1. It kind of fits the theme. I was like, it's not the best card in the world, but it kind of fits the theme. It'll probably end up getting dumped at some point though, but not yet. Mine Raider, 3 mana for 3/2 trample, enters the battlefield. If you control another outlaw, create a treasure token. That's interesting. How many outlaws are we running? That's a detective, that's an angel, that's a gnome, human soldier, angel, detective, pirate, that's 1. Mind Raider itself is an outlaw. Lana Bacall is not. Soldier. Yeah, there's almost no outlaws in this deck, so Mind Raider does not have any reason to be here. So out you go. Okay, so that puts us down to 59 cards. So that means we can increase numbers on some things. So let's take a look at what we have still. A 10 of Sunscribe. I kind of want to keep it. I kind of want to keep the Guardian the Great Door now that we've shifted gears. 1000 Moons Infantry. It feels weak. I mean, it doesn't feel like a card I want to play a whole lot of. Let's see. Tinker's Tote. I kind of want to keep that just because it's a fun card. And you can sacrifice the Tote to gain some life. Wojak. You know what? Let's get rid of the Brazen Blade Master also. Let's increase the count on Anam Pikal by 2. Bring that up to a 3. And I think we want to bring up the War Leader's Call by 2 points as well. Craft that. Okay. I'm honestly surprised I didn't have a full grip of those already. So, War Leader's Call. Okay. So, we're at 61 cards right now. Let's see here. This discovers 3, so I kind of want to keep that in. Let's ditch Hit the Motherlode. Hit the Motherlode is far too expensive for this deck. Okay. Oltec Cloud Guard. Here's battlefield, create a gnome. And it's a 3/2 flyer, but it is 4 mana. On the job, creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn and investigate. Honestly, I would rather play some form of removal than a card like that, because you're not always going to have like a full rip of creatures on the board. I mean, that's just not something you can always rely on. Okay, so instead of that 4-drop, we will instead increase this 4-drop by 2 points. So that brings that to a 3. Now, Aurelia, the Law Above, versus Bonehorde Dracosaur. As a 1 and a 1, it can work. Now how about we get rid of the Daring Discovery? So that puts us at 58 of 60. How many lands are we running in this deck? 25? I think 25 is totally fine. Absolutely. Okay, so how many creatures are we running? 25 creatures, 8 non-creatures. Okay, so in the 1-drop, we only have Novice Inspector. Let me see if there's anything else in the 1-drop slot that we can utilize. So let's just look at 1 and creature. Let's see. Armadillo, Cheeky House Mouse, Clockwork Drawbridge, Crawling Chorus. There's the Market Gnome, but that's more for a crafting deck. The Nurturing Pixie is only 1 mana. Recruitment Officer, Ruin Lurkerbat, Skrelv. Let's see. Warden in the Inner Sky. That kind of fits this deck too. Progenitor Exarch. Aki Scrap Chomper. Sacrifice an artifact land, draw a card. Cacophony Scamp. Embereth Veteran. Exuberant Fuseling. Frantic Scapegoat. Goblin Blast Runner. +2/+0 and Menace as long as you sacrificed a permanent this turn. I don't think so. Goblin Mask Maker. Attacks face down. Okay, this is for face down cards. As long as you control an artifact, Goblin Tomb Raider gets +1/+0 and haste. That might be decent. There's also Harried Spearguard. Spearguard leaves behind a 1/1 rat when it dies. Reckless Lackey. Rotisserie Elemental. Let's see. Vindictive Flamestoker. Ship and Devastator. Ginger Brute. Ginger Brute's not bad. Gives you a way to walk around creatures. Well, you know what? Let's keep it at just the Novice Inspector in the 1-drop slot for now, because I do really want to run Lightning Helix in this deck. So let's go to the filters again. Go to Instant. And, oh, the filter's still set to 1 mana. Go ahead and turn that off. Alright, so let's go ahead and look for Helix. Yeah. With this only being an uncommon, I really want to play this card. So let's pump that up to a 4. Okay. So we got Novice Inspector, Ten of Sunscribe, Guardian of the Great Door. Lightning Helix is a 4 of. Thousand Moons Infantry, Tinker's Tote, Wojak. Okay, let's see here. So we're running 25 and 12. We need to get rid of 2 cards. So let's ditch the Thousand Moons Infantry, because it really doesn't do a whole lot for us. And let's drop... Okay, Curator of Sun's Creation. Whenever you discover again for the same value. This ability triggers only once each turn. It doesn't do anything on its own, is the problem I have with it. So let's drop that by 2 points. And also, I want to drop the Oltec Cloud Guard. It does give us a creature, but for 4 mana, I just don't think it does enough. So instead what we'll do is I'm going to increase Geological Appraiser by 1, and I'm also going to get us a better Discover creature. I'm going to go find... Where are you at? We want the big stinky dinosaur. There we are. I want to put 2 copies of Trumpeting Carnosaur in here. So before we finalize this, let's see how many rares we have in this deck. So Sunscribe's uncommon, 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 common. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you look at the lands, 13. Okay, so we're looking at 13 rares for this deck. And I think that is perfectly within means. And we are actually perfectly balanced between 15 and 15 red and white pips. So, 25 land. How many Discover effects do we have in this deck? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. 13, 15. So we have 15 discover effects in the deck. We also have a bunch of cards that create the gnomes. So we'll have plenty of like extra creatures to utilize for guarding the Great Door. We have creatures that give us clue tokens like Novice Inspector and Wojek Investigator. That's additional tokens as well to utilize with guarding the Great Door, and also Kaparakti Sunborn. So that is still on theme. We have War Leader's Call in the deck. We're going to give all of our dudes +1/+1, and whenever more dudes come in, it's going to deal 1 damage to our opponent. And we have the Discover effects. So Trumpeting Carnosaur is going to discover 5. So that is going to discover anything in the deck. We have Kaparakti Sunborn will discover 3. So it's going to discover any of these cards here. Geological Praiser, same thing. And then you have Atali's Favor is also a Discover 3. And it also gives a creature +1/+1 in Trample. So that's not too bad. So, what was it? 13 rares? Yeah, about 13 rares in the deck. It's not too expensive. And it is still on theme for what this deck wants to be. So, let's go ahead and take this out there. But first, let's apply the styles. Boom. There we go. Okay, and let's see here. Actually, yep, I think that'll do. So we have all of our pretty styles, all of our lands. Everything is good to go. So I think we can just take it out there and play a few games with it and see how it does. And I am going to be taking this into ranked. We are currently in gold. We have not been playing a whole lot this this season. Let's see here. Let's find it. Ancient Discovery upgrade. All right. Wish me luck. So, I'm kind of hoping that because this deck is a little low powered, the matchmaker will be a little forgiving for me. It won't just give me like a hard control deck right out the grip. Let's find out. So, we have a plains and a mountain, so that's both of our lands will be coming into play untapped. We have the Attentive Sunscribe. It's a 2/2. When it becomes tapped, it'll scry. We also have Lightning Helix, Onipakal, War Leader's Call, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. It looks decent. I'll keep it and hope we can draw into a third land. Looks like our opponent is deciding what they're going to mulligan with. Okay, no, we are good to go. So, nothing to play on turn 1, so I'm just going to drop this plains out there and say go. Okay, our opponent plays a Restless Cottage. Okay, so I'm going to follow up with a mountain and play the Attentive Sunscribe. Alright, opponent comes in with a swamp. Looks like they're turning their attention towards my Sunscribe and trying to decide whether or not they want to kill it. They're thinking about it. Yep, they definitely want to kill it. It's fine. That honestly did more damage to him than I would have done, so I'm into it. Let's just go and play the War Leader's Call right now. Because if I drop an Onipakal, it's just going to die next turn. Alright, got lots of helixes. So we can play the Onipakal just to draw out more removal. Or we can keep mana open for the Lightning Helixes. Yeah, I don't want to drop the Onipakal until I can have something to attack with. Alright, opponent plays a Swamp. And they pass. So that tells me they are sitting on a pile of removal. No, we're just gonna chill. Sucks I don't have the mana to play that Bonehorde Dracosaur. That would have been nice. Aclazotz, you say? Alright. Well, sucks that I don't have a deal 4. I'm going to be having to use both of these just to get rid of that, which is not great. Oh hey, I gained 6 life. Yeah, it's a land now. Oof, God, that sucks. This is not my hand. I'll punch you for 1 though. A Vein Ripper. That's not good. A Hidden Volcano isn't good either, because it comes in tapped. But you know what? That's fine. It's fine. Whatever. Attack for 5. Walk the Ripper? Yep. At least it got rid of the Ripper. Yeah. Vein Ripper's pretty good. Pretty good. But I need to keep at least 2 cards in my hand so he can't activate that temple. But if he has a way to make me discard 1, then there's not really much I can do about that. Well, let's see what he chooses to do with his time. And there's the rope. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. It's all gone. I was not expecting urgent necropsy. And a morbid opportunist. Alright, cool. Here's a Dracosaur. He's got to have more kill for it too. Yeah. Yeah, that deck is going to be loaded to the gills with removal. Yeah. Coming in, champ. Ow. Well, shoot. Being this low on mana is not really filling me with a lot of determination here. Yep. Yeah, he's got all the mana, and I just do not. Yeah, it'd be pointless for you to attack with the morbid opportunist. It would just bounce off the investigator. No blocks. Okay, yeah, this game's over. Let's go to the next game. That was not too hot. It's all good though. They can't all be bangers. And also, this is just the first draft of this deck. Being tied up in a tapped lens didn't help either. Alright. So, we go first. That's awesome for us. So we have a Hidden Courtyard, a Plains, and a Mountain. We also have a Tinker's Tote and 3 Atali's Favor. If we get a creature, that's going to be crazy. And the Tinker's Tote makes a creature. You know what? I'll keep it, and we'll see where we go with it. Alright. First turn, play the Hidden Courtyard. Yeah, I'll hit you with a hello. Howdy doody. Tiny Bones. It's gonna be another heavy removal deck. Alright, let's go and play the Attentive Sunscribe. Another swamp. Remove my creature. Yep. The unfortunate reality. Like two dudes. Yeah. The unfortunate reality of living in this meta where aggro just does way too damn much means like everyone's gonna be running tons of removal. Yeah, I don't really have very good targets for you there, bud. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this mountain, and I will play the Atali's Favor there. It comes in, we get a spell. That spell is Lightning Helix. We'll go and pop that right there. Pow! Give me my little guy back, and I will play him, and that will give me a token, and then I will attack with these. He will block and take 2 damage. That wasn't the worst turn. Oh, Lilian is here. Okay. Each player discards a card, huh? Alright. I will discard one of my 2 Atali's Favor. Alright. So, Atali's Favor. Right there. Attentive Sunscribe. Let's see. Yep, next. Yeah, I'll just send them both that way.
You chose the wrong day to cross me.
Ah, an Obliterator. That's not great for me in the slightest. Because I don't have any ways of just destroying that. That might be something we need to rectify. I can say. Mm-hmm.
It's no fun when they hit back.
A Sheldred, huh? Well, I think we just lost this one. We'll find out, though. Here, dig 5. And turn, activate that, draw a card, lose 2 life, draw a card. Let's go with the Appraiser this turn. See if we draw into something cool. We did not! We did not draw into something cool. That is something pretty lame, actually. Okay, so we have learned a lesson here. That Obliterators hurt when you can't deal with them appropriately. Okay, let's take another look at the deck. Okay, so the top end package is fine. Like 2 of those, 1 Bone Horde, 1 Aurelia. It's not that big of a deal. The Caparacti Sunborn has not shown itself to be very useful yet, but we've only played 2 games yet, so I can't really count it too short just yet. But what I do need to do is I need to add in some slightly better removal. So what I will do is I'm going to get rid of the Guardians. I'm going to get rid of 1 Atali's Favor, and I'm going to find 3 ossifications for the deck. I think that should shore up our games just a little bit. Just by giving us slightly better removal, and also something good, like generally good, that we can discover into with the discover effects. Okay, and creature count is at 21 right now, which is a little bit on the light side. Let's see. Is there anything we want to do to change that? So I think I kind of want to go up by 2 points on a single creature. What would we want to do? We could go up 1 on the Bonehorde Dracosaur. The Dracosaur is actually really good. See, this is the hard part, is trying to figure out where we're really lacking. Are we really lacking at the top end, or really lacking at the bottom end? Like, the middle looks pretty decent to me. Yeah, let's just take this out right now. See how this does. Maybe that one little change could make the difference. I do think it's important to have a solid removal package. Okay, so what do we have? We have Abraded Bluffs. We have Hidden Courtyard. 2 lands that come into play tapped, which is not great. However, we don't really have a whole lot to do in the early turns. Our opponent kept a full hand of 7. We have 2 lands. 2 lands is not the best thing to keep, especially with an ossification that I can't cast on either of these. So I think I'm going to mulligan this. Okay, that feels a little bit better to me. So we have a Tennis Sunscribe, Tinker's Tote, Autumn Pakal, and Atali's Favor. So we're going to keep 6. I think I'm going to send back the Atali's Favor then. Everything else seems good to me. Hello? Alright, let's go ahead and hit the Inspiring Vantage first, so we can make sure that comes into play untapped. Alright, our opponent is playing blue and black. So, if they have counterspells, let's try and drag them out. Oh, it's fairies. Okay. I'm into that. Yep, come on in, champ. Alright, I'm going to play this. Now, they have 3 land untapped. We can try and bait them with the Tinker's Tote. I think I want to bait them and try and pull some removal or counter spells out of their hand before playing the stuff that kind of matters. Okay, you just played a Fairy Mastermind. That's not that big of a deal. Alright, and I'll attack for 2. Scry 1 because I highly doubt he's going to block with that Mastermind. That can go right there. I like that. That's a good card. Alright, pop him for 2. Yeah, so I know how this deck is going to play. He's going to keep his mana open the entire time, because the majority of his deck is going to be flash creatures. Oh, okay. Alright, let's see here. Let's go ahead and play the Abraded Bluffs. And I'm gonna make him have it. Okay, there it is. At least he got that out of his hand. Attack with the Attentive Sunscribe. I'll keep that there as well. I like that. Okay, so it only triggers when he attacks. Sleep Cursed Fairy. Okay. Alright, I lose a life because of Abira. And take 2 from the Fairy Mastermind. Oh, he tapped out. That's an interesting choice. Alright, well, in that case, we could play the Wojak Investigator or just Lightning Helix's creature. I think I'll play the Sunborn now, though. And we'll just attack with the Attentive Sunscribe. Do we want that? I think there's other things I want to be casting right now. Alright, it takes 2. It's got a Restless Reef too. Yep, take the damage. Take the 2. Race is on. Okay, cool. So we got a land. I like land. Land's cool. Alright. So, next. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna pay because he has fairies. Yeah. That's fine. Alright, it's gone. He was afraid of me discovering. We'll go 3 attackers. Get the scry trigger. Send that down. And before blockers are assigned, I will shoot Abira. Or at least attempt to. Okay. Resolve. Alright. I'll play the Wojak Investigator now. Fairy deck is pretty good, simply just because of the colors that it's in. Alright. Well, at least I'm getting some land to play my shit now. That's pretty cool. Let's draw a card. Ah, that was not what I wanted. Okay, let's see here. Next. Yeah, I can stay there. Okay, so he's gonna pay enough mana to get untapped. Blocks that. Okay. Alright, we'll play the other Tinker's Tote, make 2 more guys. And this is probably where we're going to lose. Because he has either enough mana to untap the Sleep Cursed Fairy or animate the Restless Reef and just beat me in the face with it. But he chooses not to? Why? Well, I guess he's at 8-2, so he's probably afraid of something. Alright. Well, there's really no point in attacking with the Wojak Investigator, because he has more than enough power to block it. So I will play my mountain and say go. No talks. End turn. We'll draw off the clue on their turn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about time you started animating that. Yep. Mill the cards. Alright. Activate. Draw a card. That's not good. Alright. So let's go to blocks. Block with that. Block with that. Okay. End of turn. We'll activate that. Gain 3 life. Blue token. Alright, well, now we have 2 Wojaks. Play that active volcano and just hang on to that for the next turn. And I really can't attack into a an army of sleep cursed fairies. They're just going to untap and kill my Wojaks. This is really not a good matchup for me. However, I can very carefully sacrifice my clue tokens to get around the fairy mastermind. Yep. Pass. I'll draw a card before you make me mill. Never mind. Yeah, there's your blocker. Alright. Make some tokens. Alright, let's go ahead and play that volcano. Let's activate this volcano. Hey, I like Lightning Helix. That's a good card. Does it land this turn? Hey, we finally got something to land. Hell yeah. No attacks. End turn. Alright, just gonna get us both to draw a card. That was a land. Not a fan of that. He's gonna surveil 1. I am seeing the error of taking a deck like this into ranked, where we are playing a ton of we're playing a very few like competitive cards in a sea of like really competitive cards. Hey, I like Bonehard. That's kind of cool. Yep, come on in. Go 4 more cards. Block 1, block 1. And he did leave enough mana open that he can untap his fairy. That's fine. Alright, untap, Bone Horde. Do I get to cast it? Okay, thank you. Let's see. We'll play that as well. That leaves us enough mana open to sacrifice the clue token. No attacks. I'm not stupid. Well, any more stupid than normal. Deadly cover-up. So you're gonna board wipe and then start attacking with the manlands. All right. So let's see what he chooses to wipe out. Because he might choose something that we only have like one copy of. What did he choose? Oh, okay. He'll get like one more of those. Mm-hmm. Deadly cover up in a fairies deck. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Alright, what do I get? Give me something good. That's not good. That's a mountain. I have so many lands. Why are you giving me all these lands? Here, let's discover something. Sure. By the mountain. What is this? It's not the best situation to be in. At least he's down to one card in his hand. He's gonna attack me. I got 21 cards left. Great, he exiled my Bone Horde. That's great. So he's gonna wait until I choose to block, sacrifice the clue token. It'll become a Bone Horde. So that means we have to block the Restless. This is not looking good for me. Alright, play the Novice Inspector. Sacrifice the token. Draw a card. Play the Novice Inspector. Sacrifice the token. And draw more lands. Jesus Christ. This game is stupid. I quit. I'm out. This is the dumbest shit ever. I do not need 20 lands. I don't need that. Jesus. The thing is, like, I don't want to go under 25 lands with this mana curve, though. Like, look at this. Like, the curve tops out pretty heavy. Because this is a Discover deck, like, I want to run Trumpeting Carnosaur. So I want to be able to get up to 6 lands. And then you have 5, 5, 4, 4, and the rest. Like, it's like 25 is not excessive. It's like, I just really think I had really bad luck that game. That and the guy milling like all of my spells and leaving me with nothing but lands. That did not help my matters at all. Let's try to not get discouraged and play some good, clean, family-friendly Magic. Okay, so this is 3 red sources, no white sources. However, we do have Geological Appraiser, and we can discard Trumpeting Carnosaur. So it is entirely possible that we can draw into a white mana source. So let's find out. we're going to play the Hidden Volcano first. I want to give this a few more chances to prove itself. If we keep getting stuck in matches where we just are not doing a damn thing all game, then we're probably going to be shifting this deck up pretty heavily. Picnic Ruiner, huh? That might be the end of this game. Let's see. Or not. We just get rid of that now before he has a chance to protect it with green mana. There's a Rockfall Veil. And a Cacophony Scamp. What a little scamp. Swing in for 2, possibly more. Giant Growth. There you go. You will take 5 damage. Alright. Next turn, we'll play this mountain here, and then we're going to play a Geological Appraiser and see what we can discover into. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We get a Lightning Helix. But he does have 1 green mana open, so let's see if he has a protection spell in hand. And he does. Can't say I was surprised. He was holding exactly 1 green mana open. He is also down to 2 cards in hand. Alright, cool. Let's see here. Let's play the Wojek Investigator. Okay, opponent plays a Mountain. 2 cards in hand. It's the same 2 cards that have been there for a while, so I'm thinking they might be more like Snakeskin Veils or combat tricks of some sort. If he does have like something like a Giant Growth, he can feel free to attack him with a Cacophony Scamp. It turns out to not be the case. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to play an Anand Pakal. And I'm going to attack for 2 with Vigilance. And he takes the 3. Another Cacophony Scamp. And a land. He's got 1 card left. Okay. That explains why he wasn't doing too much with that hand. Okay, let's go ahead and play this Abraded Bluffs. Pop him in the face for 1. And then we're going to play the War Leader's Call. And then we're going to attack, attack, attack. Very good. War Leader's Call, War Leader's Call is not a legendary enchantment. But for an effect like that, it should be legendary. Hamano. I don't know what he could possibly be holding to just take all that damage and not throw away the Cacophony Scamp. Nothing good, unfortunately. And he's Slicky. Yeah. Yeah, I think he just saw the writing on the wall there. Okay, so that game went a lot better than any previous game. And I think it's because we didn't dirtle quite so much. And we didn't have all of our shit, like, removed or counterspelled or like that. So, let's go ahead and make a few more edits to the deck. So let's take a look and see what is working versus what is not. So what is working is Warlord's Call, is Lightning Helix. Novice Inspector if you draw him on turn 1, sure. Attentive Scribe, not so much. Ossification. We have Tinker's Tote. Wojak Investigator. Wojak Investigator is kind of putting in work. I do like it. Geological Praiser is really good. Caparocti Sunborn. His Discover effect has not been relevant yet at all. So here's what I'm thinking we do, is we ditch the Caparocti Sunborn, increase the Geological Praiser by 1, increase the Wojak Investigator by 1, and secure. Then we have Aurelia, Bone Horde, and Trumping Carnosaur. Out of each of those, I think I probably want an additional Bone Horde Dracosaur. So, now what are we looking at here? Let's count up the rares again, see where we're sitting. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're at 15 rares. And I don't think I want to go any heavier than that on the rares. So let's take a look at what else we can do with this deck. So we have the Attentive Sunscribe. Is there a better 2-drop that we can use in this card's space? So let's take a look at what we have. Let's look at white, red, in collected and not collected in the creature space. Let's start with Outlaws. What do we have? Actually, no. We need to look at 1 and 2 mana. Dust Animus. Dust Animus is a rare, though, so I don't want to go with the Dust Animus just yet. Let's see, we have Frontier Seeker. Enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal okay, that's for mounts. Omen Port Vigilante has double strike as long as you've committed a crime. That could possibly be useful. Lifelink and draw a card when it dies. That's not too shabby. Prairie Dog. Sterling Keykeeper. Trained Oryx. Not really. Reckless Lackey. Cunning Coyote. Deadeye Duelist. Just 1 damage to an opponent. Discerning Peddler. Enters the battlefield, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. That's not bad. Magda the Horde Master. Whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sacrifice 3 treasures, make a Scorpion Dragon. Would be good if we were playing more of a crime-centric deck, which we really aren't right now. We have Magebane Lizard. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Magebane Lizard deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. That's not that great. Slickshot Show Off. This is not really for this deck. Ty Joaquin. Perfect Shot. Not really for this deck either. And also it's a rare, so I kind of want to keep the rare count to 15 and below. Search your life for a basic land card or desert card, reveal it, shuffle, put on top. No. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing a whole lot in this set for the 2 mana slot. Grand Abolisher though. Yeah, both of those are mythics though. Like I keep saying, I want to try and keep this a budget build. Doorkeeper Thrall. Market Watch Phantom, Neighborhood Guardian, Perimeter Enforcer. Flying Lifelink whenever another detective enters the battlefield in your control, and whenever a detective you control is turned face up, +1/+1 till end of turn. Let's just till end of turn now. Seasoned Consultant. Whenever you attack with 3 more creatures, +2/+0. No. Unyielding Gatekeeper, Frantic Scapegoat, Fugitive Codebreaker. Innocent Bystander. Pyrotechnic Performer. Reckless Detective. Red Herring. It's a 2/2, must attack each turn. Vengeful Tracker. Whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact, Tracker deals 2 damage to them. That's a pretty decent sideboard tech. Dogwalker. Vigilance and Disguise. When it's turned face up, create 2 tapped 1/1 white dog creature tokens. Yeah, but you have to disguise it. And disguising it means it's going to be like a turn 3 or later play. So that's not the best. We got here. We got Market Gnome, Ruin Lurker Bat. That's not a bad idea. Give your end step if you descend to this turn, scry 1. Flying in lifelink. You know what? Let's try that. Let's drop the 2 Attentive Sunscribe, bring in 2 Ruin Lurker Bat, and see how that does. Okay. What else do we have here? We have Lightning Helix and Ossification, Tinker's Tote, Bojack Investigator, Natalia's Favor. Okay. We've brought the curve down a little bit. Novice Inspector, Ruin Lurker Bat, Ossification, Lightning Helix, Tinker's Toad, Wojak Investigator, Natalia's Favorite. Okay. I think we might be getting close to where we need to be with this deck. So let's take it out there and see what we can do. Play. Standard Ranked, Ancient Discovery. Okay, let's play a game. And it is pretty important for me to keep the rare count at 15 or below. Simply because these decks are for newer players or players that are on a budget. I don't want to just jam all the rares in all these decks, because that'll just be a normal deck. Okay, so we have Abraded Bluffs and Hidden Volcano, Ossification, Tinker's Tote, Lightning Helix, and Appraiser. It's a slow open, but I don't have a whole lot of action in the early game, so let's keep it and see how it turns out. Our opponent is playing Toxic. We might have already lost. Let's find out. Play that Hidden Volcano first. They are playing Bant Toxic. Take that 1 damage. Alright. Let's go and play the Abraded Bluffs. Hit him for 1. Like I said, this hand is very slow. And we are quite possibly just going to... Yeah, we've lost. You got it, champ. This hand is too slow for your deck. Let's try again. Let's try again, and let's mulligan a little bit better, so we don't get blown out by a deck like that. Okay, our opponent is Crawl, or Krail, or Crawley. Okay, so we have Abraded Bluffs, Mountain. This hand is slightly faster, so I'm going to keep it. Alright, turn 1, Abraded Bluffs. That way we can have access to our other spells on the following turn. Opponent plays a Concealed Courtyard into a Novice Inspector. Alright, so I will play this into, you guessed it, a Novice Inspector. Make a token. Alright. I was literally playing that deck earlier today. Alright, let's go ahead. Alright, red, sacrifice this, draw a card. Alright, it's Lightning Helix. Play a Ruin Lurker Bat. And I built an Orzhov deck earlier today that was literally all exile effects and blink effects specifically for Tithing Blade. No blocks. And it is a pretty fun deck. But it is in no way budget. Yeah, see, he's doing the thing. Alright. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and hit Atali's favor right there. Bojack Investigator. No attacks, because he's going to play the thing again next turn. If he's going to clear my board, I want him to work for it. Alright, Tithing Blade happens. Sacrifice the Ruined Lurker Bat. Alright, he plays Takanuma. Alright, he does have fewer cards in hand than me at the moment. Well, let's see if we can fix that. Okay, let's play the Volcano. Then we'll go next. Attack for 2. Alright, 2 comes in. I'm just going to keep my mana open for those lightning helixes. Guardian of Garapur, huh? Okay, let's see what it chooses. Okay. Mm-hmm. Resolve. Pass turn again. Because we're kind of on the reactive right now with all this removal we have. Aww. Yeah, I'll discard that. Ow. Anand Pakal is not good right now. End turn. Braids. Interesting choice on the braids. I mean, I like braids. Alright, here's something. Let's play the Geological Appraiser. Hey, we get a lightning helix. Pop that. Gain that 3 life back. Alright, he's gonna try and draw a card. And another Tithing Blade. Sure thing, champ. And Nurturing Pixie. Novice Inspector. And Drat. Can't use that yet. Get rid of that Pixie. Can't really play anything good at the moment, because they'll just make me sacrifice it. Yeah, take 2 damage. Okay, got a Liliana. Yep, discard a card. I'll discard Anand Pakal. Okay. Land, Aurelia. Do you have a removal spell in your hand? Well, if you did, you would have used it. You should by now. You have 4 cards in hand. There's another Tithing Blade. Ugh. That shit's annoying. I'm sorry. Take 2. Oh look, a land. Let's activate the volcano. Yeah, geological appraisal looks good. Ah, Tinker's Toe, sure. And a plains. That was a decent turn. Resolve. Do your thing. It's okay. Alright. Rite of Oblivion. Resolve. That's a card that I will be happy to see rotate. Pass. Pass. 1 and 2. There. Block it. Alright. End a turn. Activate that. Gain 3 life. Warrior's Call, huh? That's a decent card. Kutzel's Flanker, huh? Gain 2 life and scry 2. Surprising to see that as a main board option. Ah.
Nobody knows Dominaria shines.
Yeah. It's hard to compete with the creature deck in such a removal heavy environment. Yeah, I think we're done here. Hello, Farquad. How are you doing tonight? Sorry you had to hop in during a defeat moment, but what I'm doing tonight is I'm doing some starter deck upgrades. And this discovered deck wasn't too good to start with, and there's only so much I can do with it while also keeping it at a 15 rares budget. It has not been doing very hot tonight. But I'm not giving up on it. We've made several different iterations to it so far, and I'm going to keep working on it until it works. And if that means that I'm going to have to end up going aggressive with it instead of mid-range, then that might be where we end up having to go. But let's see here. Plains, Mountain, Abraded Bluffs, Ossification, Wojek, Investigator, Lightning Helix, and Geological Appraiser. It looks like a decent open, so let's see how decent it is. Alright, turn 1, I don't have anything to do, so I'm going to play this tap land. Our opponent plays a Force into a Rust Vine Cultivator. It has a 1/2, it's a tap put an oil counter, or tap remove an oil counter to untap target land. That's an odd card. Very odd. So, go and play that right there. And then I'm just going to end the turn and wait to see what you play on your turn. Hold this Lightning Helix mana open. Okay, he didn't do anything, and I'm going to be playing Wojek Investigator next turn, so I'm just going to kill it now. So I don't waste my turn. There we go. Investigator's in play. Okay, third forest. We have Nissa. Alright. We are off by 1 land, but we're not off by Ossification mana. So we're gonna rip up that Nissa, and then play a Novice Inspector. Investigate. Attack for 2. As long as we can keep our mana down, or not, or keep our hand size down, we can keep drawing tokens. Hey there, Nax. How you doing? I just started. I think a couple hours ago, and we're just working on the white and red discovery deck, and so far it's not looking too hot, but that is totally okay. Not every deck is going to be a certified banger. Okay, we'll just attack with this for 2. And like, I do have like just one like hardline rule for this deck, or these upgrade decks, is I want to keep them at 15 or fewer rares, because I want them to operate on a budget. Yikes, boring Klex. That's not good for me. Because I want them to operate on a budget, because these upgrades are specifically for new players. And the way it's looking right now, it's like I might need to just go into like a full aggressive build in order to make it competitive, which kind of sucks, because like I would really enjoy to like have like a more mid-rangey feel to this deck. I can't attack. Vorinclex has reach. But I think there are about like 8 or 9 decks in total that we can upgrade. So this is just the first one. I see what you're saying there. Like, yeah, like the way I would want to structure it is, here's what you start with, here's what you can upgrade it with using 15 rares, and then here's like your final form version where you have like a fully upgraded build. Yeah, that is definitely in my mind of things to do. Absolutely. But here's the thing is, I think we've already lost this game. Because I don't think we can keep up. No, we cannot keep up with this. So here, we'll just play this, and we will quietly move on to our next game. Good game, Mac Diesel. Cool. Discover is a neat mechanic I haven't used much. Had once recently drafting a Boros deck. It did decently. Nothing great and limited unless I hit rares. Yeah, the Discover in white and red is, I'll say it's okay at best. Like, there are some good things that you can discover. Here, let's go take a look at the deck. So, this is what we have so far. So we have some low ground. We got Novice Inspector, Ruin Lurker Bat, we got Ossification, and the Lightning Helix. Tinker's Tote, and Wojcik Investigator. That's like your early game. And Anima Call and War Leader's Call. The Discover kind of starts up here with the Trumpeting Carnosaur. Trumpeting Carnosaur will get you anything in the deck, including the Aurelia or the Bonehorde Dracosaur. Or, if you're lucky, you can discover into Geological Appraiser, and then it will discover an additional 3, which will get you anything down here, including your removal package, or a War Leader's Call, or an Anima Call, Atali's Favor, Wojcik Investigator, and any of this stuff. So, it's proving difficult so far. This over here, this is a deck that I put together earlier this last week. This is a deck that utilizes Discover a little bit better. This is a deck that I modeled off of like a 15-year-old deck called Boomer Jund. And Boomer Jund utilized Cascade back in its day. And Discover is basically a fixed version of Cascade. Where Cascade, when you found the cascaded card, it had to be played no matter what. With Discover, you can choose to just put that card into your hand and play it normally later, or get the free spell. But in this deck, it works a little bit better because you have better removal and other variables. So like here, we still have the Trumpeting Carnosaur and the Geological Appraiser. And in this deck, you have the Trumpeting Carnosaur that can get you Aquazats, or can get you Geological Appraiser, which can get you into Liliana the Veil, Creature of the Schism, Aggressive Sabotage, Assassin's Trophy, Mosswood Dread Knight, Lightning Helix, or Bitter Triumph. And also this deck has a sub-theme of discard. So if you're up against a control deck, having the extra discard effects is really useful. And also, the Discover, in the game's tooltips don't tell you this, but when you discover something, like a card that has 2 modes, like the Adventures, you can choose to cast the adventure or the creature. Same goes for cards with Kicker. The Discover will allow you to play the base card for free, but if you happen to have an extra mana to pay the Kicker with, you can still pay the Kicker and get the bonus effect. So, just a few things to consider if you want to build a Discover deck. So, but yeah, this deck is probably my favorite deck on the Citadel right now. It's been doing really well for me, and it's honestly just really fun. But I have a video on the channel about this deck. You could probably find it if you go to the channel and have a look around. But it's a really fun deck. I like it a lot. But this is definitely not a budget build. This is a pretty rare heavy build. But back to the Ancient Discovery upgrade. Yes, the Appraiser is a fantastic card, especially because it's only 4 mana. I mean, the only difference that it has to the original Bloodbraid Elf is it doesn't have haste. That's the only difference. I'm glad that deck is doing well for you, Aaron X. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it, so I'm glad other people are having fun with it too. Okay, now back to the matter at hand here. What about something for ramp instead of clues? We do not show tip. We do not show nip. This is a family-friendly channel. Ramp instead of clues. Clues don't exactly ramp. They do give you card draw though, so they can help you draw yourself out of a bad situation. But honestly, like the Novice Inspector is kind of a holdover from an earlier version of this deck I was playing earlier that wanted to like quasi-convoke things into play utilizing the clue tokens. So honestly, in this version that we've kind of landed on, you don't really need the Novice Inspector a whole lot, but it is a decent 1-drop though. So I'm inclined to not get rid of it just yet. But I want to play at least one more hand with this deck before we start digging in and editing it again. Because I honestly think that the way this deck is built, we might need to go a little bit lower to the ground and a little bit faster in order to rack up some more wins with this, because it's not doing what I wanted to do, unfortunately. But I'll give it one more game. And also, hi, buddy. How you doing? You having a good night? Okay. Our opponent for the evening is Mr. Nathan T. We have an Abraded Bluffs, a Mountain, Novice Inspector, Tinker's Toe, Anapakala, a Tali's Favor, and a Geological Appraiser. This hand, off of only 2 lands, one of which comes into play tapped, doesn't sound too tasty to me, so I'm going to moan in this. Okay. That is only slightly better. But I'll keep it. I'll send back one of the Inspectors. What I'm saying is if you start with large creatures, you could play more quickly with ramp and use discover instead of clues as card draw. I see where you're going with that, and I like the idea. We can try to operate with maybe some what is it? Some treasure tokens. We might be able to do something with treasure tokens. Also, there is the Iron Crag. Iron Crag is a pretty decent 2-mana rock, so we could try go in a different direction with this deck. Let's see here. All right, first land of the turn is going to be the Hidden Courtyard. Jesus Christ, you've been spending way too much time in Asmongold's stream, Betty. Let's play the Novice Inspector. Alright, opponent plays a second Plains and a Talia. That is alright for me. I don't have any problems with that. I'll play this Inspiring Vantage into a Wojcik Investigator. We will not attack into a 2-1 with first strike. That's just silly. Okay, our opponent plays Ossification. And then they will attack for 2 with the Talia. There it comes. No blocks. Alright, so let's go here. And I'm just going to do this right now and get rid of that Talia. We'll attack for 1. I was looking at Magda earlier. If we want to run Magda, we're probably going to want to run into a more, what's the term? Crimes style of deck. Magda could definitely work in a crimes build. And I really need to deal with that Myrel quickly, otherwise that thing's going to run me over. Valiant Veteran. Now it's really going to run me over. Oh, wow, you got all of your removal, didn't you? Pretty decent hand, friend. And a recruitment officer. Look at you go. And 3 more soldiers. And me with no way to deal with it. So, yeah. I think we're going to need to go back to the drawing board on this deck. This deck is a little too disjointed. It's not doing what I want it to do. Okay, let's go back to the deck. Okay. So, because this deck is a discovery-based build, we want to keep the discovery cards in. Anything else can really go whichever way we want them to go. So I'm going to definitely keep the 2 Trumpeting Carnosaur in and the 4 Geological Appraiser. The other cards kind of have to go and do their own thing. So, we already have 4 Abraded Bluffs in the deck, so that's 4 crimes right there. Let's take a look at treasures in general and see what we can dig up. We're going to omit the last 4 sets because each of those are rotating. So, here's what we'll do. Wait a second, why is New Capenna still showing up? Standard, collected, not collected. Oh, I highlighted them instead of low lighting them. There we go. We go like this. There we go. That's how we want to do it. Okay, so there's Diamond Pickaxe. That could be decent if we run like a lot of creatures. Let's see here. What else we have here? Axe Guard Artisan. Whenever one or more Pleasant Bosom encounters are put on Axe Guard Artisan for the first time each turn, create a treasure token. Nah, that's kind of garbage. Let's see. Charming Scoundrel could work, actually. And she has 3 different modes. Drawing a card, create a treasure token, or create a wicked roll. But it's also a rare and a pretty low impact rare. Because we're only doing a total of 15 rares in this deck, we kind of want to make sure the ones that we're putting into the deck are good. So let's see here. Let's go with the Magda plan. I like the Magda plan. We're doing treasures. So we can bring Magda in. Let's just remove those. So, Magda the Horde Master. Whenever you commit a crime, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Sacrifice 3 treasures. Create a 4/4 red Scorpion Dragon creature token with flying and haste, activate as a sorcery. So, what we need to do is we need to find a bunch of different ways to make treasure tokens. So, there's Flick a Coin. Now, Flick a Coin is pretty low impact. Yes, we had Lightning Helix, Ossification, and the Deserts. That was our only crimes so far. So, honey, if I followed your MAGA plan, I might as well just turn off the stream. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure token. That's okay. Breaches, Flick a Coin. We kind of need something more impactful than Flick a Coin. I do like that it does a lot, but it does only a little of a lot. Furnace Rains is cute, but without sacrifice effects, it's not really that great. Plundering Pirate, when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Okay, that's not bad. Poetic Ingenuity, whenever one or more dinosaurs you control attack. Okay, that's for a dinosaur deck. Redcap Thief enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Okay. There's Decadent Dragon, it creates treasure tokens when you attack. Then we have the Grabby Giant. He has an adventure that says create a treasure token, or reach, sacrifice an artifact or land to draw a card. It has possibility. Corvold the Noble Thief, we have create a treasure token on 1 and 2, but that's a 4-mana spell, so that's not too good for us. We have Urabrask, the Bonehorde Dracosaur, Magmatic Galeon. When it enters the battlefield, deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Whenever one or more creatures your opponent's control are dealt excess non-combat damage, create a treasure token. Here's Hit the Motherlode. Hell to Pay. Hell to Pay deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of tapped treasure tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature this way. I got a question. Warleader's Call. Okay, Warleader's Call does not commit crimes. It deals damage to each opponent. Hello, John M. Blues. How are you doing tonight? It's going all right for me. We're trying to figure out the best way to rebuild Ancient Discovery, the starter deck. And we tried a few different builds already so far. But now we're going to try, at the suggestion of Mr. Farquaad, we're going to try a crimes build built around Magda and see how well that works. Spared treasure. Let's see. So we need more ways of attacking our opponent with crimes. So far, we have Ossification, we have Lightning Helix, we have almost nothing else. So we're going to be using the treasures as a way to guarantee that we can cast our Discover spells on curve. So I think Aurelia might want to go, because she doesn't really fit the theme of this either. Bonehorde Dracosaur is just a really solid card, whereas Aurelia kind of needs you to do stuff in order for her to be really good. So let's see here. No, that's what I was looking at earlier. The Warleader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. It does not target, so the Warleader's Call damage is just, it's just extra damage. That's all it is. It will not trigger crimes. So, you know what? While we're at it, let's also look at other crimes that we have access to in white and red. So we have Omen Port Vigilante. This person gets double strike if we commit a crime. There's Crime Novelist. That's from a different set. Actually, okay, let's narrow things down. We'll narrow it down to just the newest set. So this is all we have access to. It's not a lot. So there's Omen Port Vigilante. There is Magda the Horde Master. There is Take for a Ride. Take for a Ride has Flash as long as you've committed a crime this turn. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. So it's a threat and effect that you can play any time if you need to. Then there's At Knife Point, but that's black and red. There's Marchesa, which is Grixis, and Bandit's Hall. Whenever you commit a crime, put a loot counter on Bandit's Hall. This ability triggers only once each turn. You can tap for 1 mana of any color, and you can pay 2 and tap to remove 2 loot counters from Bandit's Hall to draw a card. That could be decent, but it is rather slow. And it's not exactly something that I want to see off of a Discover effect. So I think we don't want to go with that. So I think, honestly, the only really good crime committer is Magda in this kind of a build. So we can just run a crimes ramp kind of situation with Magda. But Magda's secondary ability requires us to sacrifice 3 treasures in order to make the dragon tokens, which isn't too difficult. So instead of looking at crimes, let's instead just look at treasures and see the best ways to generate treasure tokens. So there's Discerning Financier. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a treasure token. And then you can give a treasure token to your opponent by paying 3 mana. Hit the Motherlode is just a little bit too expensive. It was actually one of the first cards I ended up cutting from this deck. It's like 7 or 8 mana. You do discover 10 off of it, which is cool, but it's just way too much mana. Beamtown Beatstick. +1/+0 has Menace. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, equip a treasure token. Not good enough. Diamond Pickaxe. This one's kind of cool just because it has Indestructible. Like, your opponent cannot deal with this unless they exile it. And whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token. So that could be decent. And there's the Great Train Heist. Spree. Untap all creatures you control. If it's your combat phase, there's an additional combat phase after this combat phase. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain first strike until end of turn, or choose target opponent. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to that player this turn, create a tapped treasure token. That's alright. It's just alright though. That's the thing, is like a lot of these cards are just alright. None of them are like really great cards that you want to play. This is a fairly decent combat trick though. Ancestor's Aid, +2/+0 and first strike for a 2 mana spell, and it also creates you a treasure token. So that one's alright, but also it does not commit a crime. It just makes a treasure token. Axguard Artisan, we already looked at that. There's Charming Scoundrel. What about Wicked? Okay, nope. Wicked Roll is also not a crime. It deals damage to each opponent. Enterprising Scallywag. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended, make a treasure token. Okay, here's something we might be able to utilize. Because descend is you descend each time a permanent card is put into your graveyard from anywhere. Now, a treasure token is a permanent that goes to your graveyard and then goes away. So it can trigger descend for you. So let's try a few copies of Enterprising Scallywag and see how well that works for us. Because that will it won't do crimes for us, but it will generate treasure tokens for Miss Magda. Let's see. And there's Breaches. Whenever a pirate you control attacks, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Create a treasure token. Target creature can't block this turn. Or exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Okay, so this person has a lot of good effects off of Breaches. So the Enterprising Scallywag is a pirate, but Magda's not. Magda is a dwarf berserker. So Breaches does trigger off itself though. So I think Breaches kind of wants to be played in a deck that has a lot more pirates, you know. Let's see. There's Flick a Coin, there's Furnace Rains, there's Mine Raider. Yes, I was looking at that, but just the fact that it's a mythic. If we can fit it in under a budget of 15 rares, we can consider it. Let's read it real quick. So 2 mana, 2/2 menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a treasure token. When you do, target opponent creates a tapped treasure token. Whenever Generous Plunder attacks, it deals damage to defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control. So that last line of text right there is actually pretty cool. Simply just because there's a lot of decks that play a lot of artifacts right now, especially a lot of artifact tokens. So Generous Plunderer might be pretty good actually. And this also doesn't require you to descend to create the token. You know, let's do this. Let's go down and try 3 copies of Generous Plunderer. What would that put us at currently? So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. The Warlorder's Call is probably coming out. And probably the Unimpic Call as well. Because that's kind of for a different style of deck now. Because we're kind of rebuilding this deck from the ground up at the moment. So, Generous Plunder, that's 3. Magda, that's 6. Logic Investigator, that's 9. 10, 11. 12, 13. And then Inspiring Vantage is 14. So that's 4. So, okay, we can probably make this work with the Generous Plunder. So let's hold it there for the moment until we see what the rest of this deck is going to look like. And we'll craft everything at the end. Redcap Thief. Here's about to create a treasure token. Grabby Giant makes treasure tokens. Bonehorde Dracosaur. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. If you exile a land card this way, create a 3/1 dinosaur. If you exile a non-land card this way, create a treasure token. Okay, so let's maybe run a 3rd Bonehorde Dracosaur. Simply just because it gives us more treasure tokens for Magda. Okay, we have in here the Collector's Vault. The Collector's Vault allows us to draw cards, discard cards, and create treasure tokens. I think that might be for more of a Reanimator style deck. Buried Treasure. Sacrifice Buried Treasure, add to a mana of any color. Or 5 and exile Buried Treasure from your graveyard. Discover 5. Activate only as a sorcery. Hey, we might be able to do something with that. Because it is a discover effect, as well as a treasure that you can sacrifice to Magda. However, it's a treasure that we have to pay mana to get into play, so a little leery on that. Yes, I that was not lost on me, Farquaad. The fact that the Generous Plunderer is a crime card as well. So that last line of text, whenever it attacks, it deals damage to a defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control, which will always be at least 1, because you're giving them tapped treasure tokens. If they don't utilize those treasure tokens, or if they have a bunch of clues on the battlefield, this could do some damage. And also does crime for Magda. Okay, I'm seeing this coming together a little bit. Let's see, what else we got here? Gold Pan. Here's battlefield, create a treasure token, and it's an equipment, so you can beat people up with a bedpan. That's great. Treasure map Carini Minecart. When it enters the battlefield, when it attacks, create a treasure token, and it's a 3/3 for crew 1. Sword of Wealth and Power. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from instants and sorceries. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. When you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. It's cool. I don't think I want to play it though. Luxurious Locomotive. When it attacks, create a treasure token for each creature that crewed this turn. Crew 1, activate only once each turn. So it just gives you a treasure token when it attacks. Sacrifice Volatile Fault. Destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. That player may search the library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. You create a treasure token. That's just a strictly worse version of the other cards in this effect line. It just gives you a treasure token instead. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, so let's take a look at where we're sitting right now. So we are at 54 cards. Yes, the Dracosaur is a dummy good card. Like, if you get to untap just one turn with Bonehard Dracosaur, you are going to be very well off. Okay. I obliterated your legs yesterday. My legs are doing all right now. They are a little bit tighter because we did leg day yesterday. But tomorrow is when the DOMs set in. And tomorrow, you'll be lucky if you can walk. So, have yourself a lot of protein tonight before you go to bed. For anyone who might be out of the loop, that's my wife that I'm talking to. We went to the gym yesterday, and we did leg day as well as cardio. And so, we got the delayed offset muscle soreness that is going to be smacking our legs out for the next couple days. It's going to be great. Okay, so we're at 54 cards, 54 out of 60. We have 25 lands in the deck and plenty of ways to generate treasures now. So that is a great, that's fine. That's actually a great point, Farquaad, is giving them a token is a treasure because you are targeting the opponent. Okay, so what do we got here? All right, we're down to 18 creatures, so I think we need to pump the creature count back up. So we have 25 lands. That should be more than enough lands, as well as the treasure tokens that we are generating. So we have, let's count up our rares real quick. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're exactly where we want to be with our, what's the word? With our rares. So, let's take a peek at what we can add into the deck that will either commit a crime or also just be a good creature to throw into the deck. So, removal package. We have 3 ossification and 4 lightning helix. What kind of card would be great for controlling the board as well as committing crimes? But you kind of want it to be a creature too, because we need more threats in the deck. The threat count is a little light. So let's see here. Let's take a peek at also just creatures right now. We're looking at just creatures. Let's start with the most recent set and see what we find. So there is Nurturing Pixie, but this really isn't a Nurturing Pixie deck. There's Dust Animus, Frontier Seeker, Rand Abolisher, Omen Port Vigilante, Outlaw Medic. Outlaw Medic will help us draw cards. There's Avian Interrupter, Claim Jumper, Fortune. The Holy Cow. Flash Flying. When Holy Cow enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and scry 2. That's kind of a delay card, and also kind of slow. So Archangel of Tithes, Bridal Bighorn, Prosperity Tycoon. Actually, hang on a second. I think I still have too many filters. No, we're not looking at too many filters. Creature, collected, uncollected, most recent set. No mana cost problems. Okay. Yeah, so let's just look at what we have. So I think we just might not have a whole lot of good stuff in white at this price point. There's Dead-Eyed Duelist. Resilient Roadrunner. Slickshot Show-Off. Irascible Wolverine. Longhorn Sharpshooter. Quilled Charger. Stingerback Terror. The Hellspur Brute, which has affinity for outlaws, which is silly. Terror of the Peaks. We already have too much cards in the high mana cost range. I need to rein it in a little bit. We're looking for stuff for the early game. So here, let's put another filter in. We're going to look at 1 through 3. Show me murders at Markov Manor. What do we have here? There's the Novice Inspector again. There's a Thrall. Novice Inspector is probably one of the better 1-mana cards right now. Just because it does more for 1 mana than a lot of other cards will. Let's see. Yeah, not a whole lot in white and red. I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. I'm going to put in the Novice Inspectors and just hold them there until we find something better. So glad to see you doing this. I just got into Arena and got the hang of all the starter decks, and then they rotated. I'm lost. Yes, they rotate in new theme decks every year with the rotations. So we've got about another 15 days or so until rotation hits in full. So I want to put together at least one upgrade video for each of these decks, and we have been at the drawing board for a while with this deck tonight, and Farquad Gaming has been helping me a lot with this upgrade, giving me some good directions. Because like the direction that was in at the beginning of the night, it wasn't it. It just was not it. But we're slowly finding our way there. Okay, so let's take a look at Lost Caverns of Ixalan. What kind of like 1s and 2s do we have in here? Flying Vigilance. When it dies, target creature you control explores. It's alright. Autoclone. Ruin Lurker Bat. There's Ward in the Inner Sky, but that's another rare though. Dauntless Dismantler. It's 2 mana. Artifacts your opponent's control into the battlefield tapped. Sacrifice it. Destroy each artifact with mana value X. That doesn't sound too shitty. I mean, it's also 1/4 for 2 mana. Artifacts inner tapped, so that's like all of like their tokens as well. If they're playing the Simulacrum Synthesizer deck, then that's all of their golems coming into play tapped. And I can pay, oh gosh, that would be really expensive. If we paid 6 colorless and a white, then we could destroy all of their synthesizers. But if we pay 0 for the X and white, that'll just destroy every token on the table. Something to look at. Sharpshooter is a crime also. Sharpshooter. Show me Sharpshooter. If it's that 1 mana red card from Outlaws. Longhorn Sharpshooter. When plotted, it deals 2 damage to any target. Is this the Sharpshooter you're talking about? The Longhorn? So I think there was another one. It was a creature. Was it called Sharpshooter, or was it something else? Here, show me Mercenary. I believe there was something in red that liked to shoot people. Skewer Slinger. That sounds familiar. Here, just show me the red cards. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of. Deadeye Duelist. Just deals 1 damage to any target. Yeah, that's not good. Yes, it was an elemental, a fire elemental. Let's take a look. Wild as Beldrain. There's Rotisserie Elemental. Was this the one you're talking about? 1/1 Menace. Whenever Elemental deals combat damage to a player, put a skewer counter on Rotisserie Elemental. Then you may sacrifice it. If you do, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of skewer counters on Rotisserie Elemental. You may play those cards this turn. Yeah, that looks interesting for a 1 mana card. I don't doubt that. Most of those starter decks had like maybe 3 or 4 rares in it, maybe 5. Yes. Oh, Skewer Slinger. Ooh, I think I know what you're talking about. Is that dwarf with the Wolverine claws? Skewer. There he is, yeah. A little dwarf with the Wolverine claws. 1/3 reach. Whenever blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 1 damage to that creature. That is technically a crime. And that Wolverine cosplay is absolutely a crime. A crime against fashion. You know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna try 2 of these. I'm gonna try 2 of these just because I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. This little guy is attacking with food on his fingers. I mean, why not? Okay, let's take a look at what this deck looks like right now. So, we're at exactly 15 rares. We have Novice Inspector on 1, so I'll bring in a clue token, and it's a 1/2. Then we have Ossification, 3. We have Ossification is a crime, mind you. Generous Plunderer is 2/2. Total crime monger here. Really good card. It's kind of expensive though. Plunderer. Yes, he's the wiping the artifact decks. If I was not concerned with the rare count in this deck, I would actually be running Brotherhood's End. Brotherhood's End is so good against the Simulacrum Synthesizer decks that, like, I run it in almost every red deck that I play because I hate playing against that deck so damn much. It is such a stupid deck, and I love just nuking it from orbit with Brotherhood's End. Okay, so back on topic. Generous Plunder. Love it. It's great for this deck. Magda, Skewer Slinger, Lightning Helix. So we're looking good in the 1 and 2 drop range. So it's not too bad. Then Tinker's Tote. I think Tinker's Tote was for a different version of this deck. It does give us 2 tokens and allows us to gain 3 life. I think this card might need to go. Wojak Investigator. Honestly, I just kind of like it. It doesn't really commit crimes, but it does give us additional card draw off of the clue tokens. So I kind of want to keep it, and it also is a vigilance flyer, so it's fairly decent. Atali's Favor I'm keeping just because it does the discover. Geological Appraiser to discover. Bonehorde Dracosaur is kinda discover, and Trumpeting Carnosaur discovers as well. So I think the last thing that we need to change is the Tinker's Tote. Yeah, I believe so. Okay, so Tinker's Tote is a 3-drop. What other 3-drops could we possibly run in this deck that would better suit this deck than Tinker's Tote? So let's take a look around. Whoa, we might not need to take a look around. What was that? Oh, it was a rare, that's right. The Flameheart Duelist. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to look at everything that is in current standard, or in rotation standard. No worries, it's all good. Okay, we're gonna look for a creature because we need more threats in the deck. We're gonna go 3 or below. What can we find? So, Someone's Guardian, Cleaving Skyrider. Oh, wait, we need white, red, colorless. Show me that. Okay. Crawling Chorus. It's interesting, but that's for a different style deck. Market Gnomes for a different style deck. Nurturing Pixie. Recruitment Officer. That could be fairly decent. Help us dig into our deck when we have too much mana. Skrelv, Slumbering Keepguard, Survivor of Corliss, Swooping Lookout. Let's see, we got Ward in the Inner Sky, Armory Mice, Benelish Faithbonder, Benelish Sleeper. That's for white and black, not exactly for this deck. Dauntless Dismantler, we were talking about that earlier. Dusk Legion Duelist, Dust Animus. Gosh, I would like to play Dust Animus, but it will put us over our budget. Discover for 3. There's the Geological Appraiser. Okay. There was one other card, but I took it out of the deck earlier because it didn't do anything when it first came into play. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So discover. Let's see. I think it was a 4 cost. Yes, it was Curator of Sun's Creation. This was in the original version of the deck before we started messing with things. And it said, whenever you discover again for the same value. This ability triggers only once each turn. So I cut this from the deck because it doesn't do anything on its own. Aside from that, there was Caparocti Sunborn. This was in a version of the deck that had a lot of the extra creature creation. So I kind of didn't want to run this in this version of the deck because we cut a lot of the swarm from the deck. So Caparocti Sunborn really isn't that great. So this and the Curator don't really do enough for this version of the deck. So I ended up cutting them. Yeah, I do like the Animus a whole lot. If we wanted to run an Animus, you know what? Let's cut the Wojeks and run the Animus. Rare for a rare. Where you at? Get back here, you little guy. There you are. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there. Three Dust Animus in. The Wojek Investigators out. Don't really need the clue tokens as much. Okay, so there. We're keeping parity with our rare count. So, but we still have to find something for Tinker's Tote. We have 2... I might have an idea. Show me Spree. Getaway Glamour. Exile target non-token creature, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, or destroy target creature with no other creature has greater power. So Getaway Glamour would be really good with our Discover effects. Being able to utilize Discover more than once on a creature sounds pretty good to me. And having it have the secondary mode of destroying a big creature that the opponent has, that would be pretty decent. Yeah, let's kill the Tote, bring it to Getaway Glamour. I think that might have us getting to where we need to be with this deck. Alright, let's take another look at the deck. Here's the stats. 24 creatures, 11 non-creatures. Okay, cool. We're already in the right direction, because this deck wants to have a lot of creatures. We have 25 lands, plus all of the tokens to create additional mana for us. So, we're looking at Getaway Glamour, we're looking at Lightning Helix, and Ossification. That's our removal package. Our creatures are Novice Inspector, Dust Animus, Generous Plunderer, Magda. Then the Skewer Slinger for lulls, and then we have Geological Appraiser, Bone Horde, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. Trumpeting Carnosaur doubles as removal if we discard him. Atalia's Favor is also part of the Discover package. Bone Horde is quasi-Discover if you get to untap with him. And as far as crimes are considered, Getaway Glamour is a crime. Ossification is a crime. Generous Plunder is a crime. Skewer Slinger is a crime. Lightning Helix is a crime. The Discover package gets you crimes. We have 4 crime lands. Yeah, I think we could be doing all right with this. You could also blink Animus for +1s and lifelink and crime. Dust Animus. If you control 5 or more untapped unlands, Dust Animus enters the battlefield 2+1 counters a lifelink counter on it. Yes, if you can Getaway Glamour the Dust Animus, and still have 5 untapped lands, because you maybe you pay for the Getaway Glamour with treasure tokens. That'll keep your lands untapped. You can get the Dust Animus back untapped for a sneaky blocker. But when does it come back? Okay, it comes back at the beginning of the next end step, so it's not like Scroll Shift where it would come back immediately. It would come back at the end of turn. But it's still useful. Plus it has the modal effect of destroying an opponent's big creature. Yeah. This could work. This could definitely work. Now, let's look at our lands. Our lands are Hidden Courtyard, so that's another Discover land. We also have the Hidden Volcano for Discover. We have 8 plains, 8 mountains, 4 crime lands, and 1 copy of Inspiring Vantage. So, you know what? I like where this is going. Let's take it out there. Let's apply our styles. Let's craft our cards. And let's play some Magic. Okay. I will be back in just 1 moment before we start our game. I need a refill of my drink. So, give me just a moment. Be back in like 2 minutes. Whew. Okay. That didn't take too long. Okay. So, here's to hoping that this does the trick. Standard ranked. Let's play a few games. Thank you. And good luck to your choices as well. You had an equal hand in putting this deck together. Mudman Peter. That is a great name. Fantastic name. Okay, so we open with Abraded Bluffs and 2 mountains. We have a Getaway Glamour, a Novice Inspector, a Lightning Helix, and an Atali's Favor. I'm not a huge fan that this comes into play tapped, but it's what we have to work with. Let's keep it and see what happens. Our opponent plays a Plains and passes the turn. We will play a Hidden Courtyard so we can play our Novice Inspector later. Cheers. Regal Bunnycorn. Okay, I see where this is going. So let's go here. And let's go with the... Do we want to play the Novice Inspector this turn? Or do you want to keep it in Lightning Helix open? So our opponent's going to have 3 mana next turn. So I think we kind of want to keep the Lightning Helix open, because I think they're going to be wanting to cram that up to like a 4/4 on the next turn. So I'm just going to chill. Our opponent plays a Mirex. So definitely on the token plan. Pass. Okay, we take the 1. Alright, they don't do anything else with their turn, so I'm going to hit them with the Lightning Helix. There's Surge of Salvation. Yep. That's pretty much what I expected. I expected some form of protection there. That's okay, though. Alright, let's play the Abraded Bluffs. And I will also plot the Animus. Elspeth. Okay, that's interesting. Alright, goes up to a 3. Okay, so we're going to go here. And I'm going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can't really do all the modes and also utilize the Inspector. So what I'll do is I will go for 3 and just get rid of that. Oh wait, cancel. Yes, yes, yes. Autopay. That was actually my first time ever playing Getaway Glamour, so I wanted to make sure that I was playing it correctly. Play Novice Inspector. entered. Lunark veteran, huh? It's also a life gain deck, huh? Alright. That's 5 mountains, so that means we get to play the Dust Animus with tokens. Or counters, I should say. And then I'm going to play the Itali's Favor on Novice Inspector. He plays Get Lost on the Dust Animus. Okay. It is now lost. Alright, we're gonna discover 3. We discover a Skewer Slinger. Alright, Skewer Slinger is here. Let's see here. So go next. And I'm going to attack over this way with my Trampling Guy. Is he going to choose to block? So much value. Alright, I'm actually going to take this time to apply a counter to Skewer Slinger. Cool. We'll keep that ossification right there. Let them know about it. Play the Novice Inspector. Get another clue token. Alright, makes another 1/1. It chose not to attack. Cool. Alright. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all combat damage from red sources. Okay, that's fine. He just wants to make sure that I can't target any of his stuff with ossification. That's fine. So, in that case, let's go ahead. There's a Bonehorde Dracosaur. Okay. Next. Swing Bada Bada. Alright, let's the damage go through. Let's play another Novice Inspector. So many Inspectors. Alright, they're gonna make a Mirex token. What the actual... Okay. I can't say I was expecting that. O'Hare Tech, Deepest Foundation. Alright. Well, Dracosaur it is. What exactly does this say? Okay, it does damage to the creature. So, well, those creatures aren't attacking anytime soon, so no attacks. Let's see. 1 or more creature tokens would be created under your control. 3 times that many tokens instead. Aww. Now he's got a mean head. Let's see. Blind Vigilance. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, 3 times that many tokens instead. Return the battlefield tapped. Transform Temple. Activate only if you attacked with 3 or more creatures this turn and only as a sorcery. So we could do this. He can't really protect it. So we will double block. And it's going to deal 1 extra damage to O'Hare. And now you choose your damage. Yeah, sure, you make some tokens. Gain some life. Wow, he didn't kill the Bonehorde Dracosaur. I'm perplexed. Draw me a card. Magda's here. Let's go and play a mountain. Oh, I should have played the Abraded Bluffs. I'm dumb. It's no big deal. Alright, let's see. He's got no flyers, so next. Get rid of that. Let's see. And should we... Yeah, let's draw a card. Why not? Yeah, it's another land. Yeah, that's cool. Wedding announcement, huh? Alright. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alright. Block and kill them all. He wants to get his god back. I don't blame him. Alright. Oh, I like what I'm seeing here. I'm liking it a lot. Alright, Abraded Bluffs comes down first, so we get that crime. Okay. Next is the Geological Appraiser. Okay, gives us Generous Plunderer. Okay. Now, does this trigger only once each... Yeah, it only triggers once each turn. What a... Meh. Okay. Next. Let's see. Attack with that. Attack with that. And attack with that. Mm-hmm. Alright, 5. Those guys come and do their damage. Now, let's see here. What? The Dracosaur gave that to me. So, okay, I have this turn to do it, so I have to do it right now. So, in that case, I will also just shoot you in the face. Doesn't really do me any good to target one of your creatures. Oh, wow. He's gonna be making a lot of dudes. It is so many dudes. Oh, man. See, this is a perfect situation for needing a... In your upkeep, you may create a treasure token. When you do, target opponent creates... Yes. Did he not attack? He did not attack. That's very surprising to me. Now let's read Generous Plunderer. Whenever Plunderer attacks, it deals damage to a defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control. And those artifacts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's not an artifact either. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. Alright, let's see here. We'll play the Volcano. And then we're going to play the Trumpeting Carnosaur, big mode. Okay, that gives us a Lightning Helix. We will... Let's pop that Veteran. Prevent him from getting any more health. Let's see here. Does it have haste? It does have haste. Look at that. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, 3. There we go. And next, attack, attack, and leave the rest open. Boom, boom. Nah, I don't want to draw a card right now. End turn. I'm not attacking with the Plunderer yet. Not yet. When it becomes like time for like to swing in for the kill after they've generated a shit ton of Mirex tokens, absolutely. All right, he got rid of my Dracosaur. I'm upset. Resolve. Oof, they're bigger now. I don't like that. All right, take action. Mm-hmm. Ah, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let's target that land. Get rid of that. Yeah, gain your life. That's fine. Right. Let's draw a card. Cool. Alright, let's play Plains. And then let's activate Magda. Sacrifice these. That attacks there. And I feel that I might need to leave a lot of blockers open because he's getting to a critical mass of creatures over there. So we'll attack with 2 just to get rid of the Wandering Emperor and leave the rest behind. There we go.
Years of training for this.
Yep, he's coming with everything. Alright, so there. Let's see. Go there. We'll go there. Let's see here. This will go there. And this will go there. And so that's 2 times 4. That's 8. Oh shoot, that's 2 times 12 over there. That's way too much. Yeah. Cancel blocks. Come on in. Come on. Come on in. You made too many dudes. You made too many dudes. But I will say this. The deck worked a hell of a lot better this time. It worked a lot better. It was a lot more cohesive. It just took us a little bit too long to deal with that damn god. So let's get back in there. Try another game. I was kind of hoping that they would just like generate a ton of Mirex tokens so I could blow them out in one turn. That would have been really funny. Okay, what do we have this time? There's a red sweeper that does 2 damage to either... Yes, that is true. I think that might be more of a sideboard option though. Granted, it would have been great in that matchup. But I think that is like more of like a best of 3 option for sideboards. Specifically because it doesn't commit crime. Plains, Abraded Bluffs, and Hidden Volcano. We also have Magda, the Appraiser, Bonehorde Dracosaur, and Trumpeting Carnosaur. It almost looks like we're playing mono red here. Alright, let's go with the Hidden Volcano first. And we'll play Magda next turn. Or not, they're playing black. We're going to play this. We're going to play the Novice Inspector first. We're going to wait to play Magda. When I see swamps, I see 20 plus piles of removal. I should know, I play a lot of black. Okay. Yeah, we'll go Megiddo Magda. And come in with the bluffs, pop them for 1, get that treasure token, and swing for 1 damage. Okay, so we are up against what appears to be Golgari midrange. So far, all we know is they have a Mosswood Dread Knight. Okay, they're playing Phyrexians. Come and watch some TV. It's Ancient Phyrexians. Do we want this? Or do we want Bonehorde? I think we want this. Because this might get us removal. Which would be a crime. That's not a crime. I don't need that. No attacks. Could have really used a crime there. Alright, Mosswood comes in. Thankfully, the Bloated Processor can only discard, or only sacrifice Phyrexians. Alright, it's Carno time. I'll take it. Nah, I'll just block with the Mosswood and draw more cards next turn. I'll wait. Six mana for a Trumpeting Carnosaur and a Bonehorde Dracosaur. Not bad. Not bad at all. Though now I am like I got like lightning rods on my head for his removal. Pick your poison. Okay. And Glissa. They're coming with that Mosswood? Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see. Generous Plunderer, Bonehor Dracosaur. I think we're doing the Dracosaur. You can't really attack into a first striking Death Toucher though, so we're just gonna chill. Glissa makes combat so awkward. Okay, he gains 1 life from the Jungle Hollow. Surprising to me that people still play the gain life lands. Skyfisher Spider. Alright. Sacrifice the Phyrexian. Kill my Bone Horde. Sounds accurate to me. Alright. Generous Plunder comes in. Let's draw a card. Okay. That's good for next turn. But you're still making it very difficult for me to attack you, you jerk. No attacks. Jesus. Wow. Yeah, that kind of screwed me. Next game, please. Yeah, that was perfectly placed too. We're going back in. We will not be ending the night on a loss. Yeah. Old Gixie boy. He does a great job. Gix the creature, Gix the spell. He's a pain in the ass. Alright. I will keep this. This looks like a decent hand. We'll start with not the Abraded Bluffs. We'll start with the Novice Inspector, because it is entirely possible that we could draw into a mountain. Ooh, we see mono red. Mono red aggro. We might have game against this. Okay, so we did not draw into it. So instead, kind of have to play the Abraded Bluffs this turn. I will not attack, because your deck is full of haste creatures. Any of these new decks you're looking forward to upgrading / dreading? Looking forward to, I'm really looking forward to upgrading the red-green dinosaur deck, because I think that deck is very straightforward. No real gimmicks attached to that. Dreading, I don't really think I dread any of the... Actually, no. I will say that I'm not looking forward to upgrading the white-green mounts deck. I was like that the mounts I personally feel is kind of a gimmick and is not that great when it comes to what's the term? Like, as far as like all the different like mechanics that came out of the most recent set, I feel like mounts, if you're like building like into mounts as a mechanic and not just using good cards that have saddle, I think it's kind of bad. Let's say I need to do this now, because as soon as he untaps, he'll be able to evade my Lightning Helix. Okay, plays a Cacophony Scamp, and another Kumona Faces Kakazan. Alright. I will take the 4. It's fine. Alright. Let's play a land, and we will play... Do we want to play the Generous Plunder? Skewer Slinger. think we want to play the Skewer Slinger right now. I think white-green is pretty strong in draft. Like, the Seraphic Steed on its own, even if you don't saddle it, like a 2/2 first strike lifelink is really strong. Especially because it only costs 2 mana to do. I'm really happy to hear that, John. Because I did put quite a bit of work into that deck to make sure that it worked well. And so I'm very glad to hear that it's doing good work for you. Jesus, this guy's going to town. All right. All right, that blocks there. That blocks there. Yep. Ow! Stop it. Oh, he gets to sacrifice it and proliferate. When he sacrifices it, he just throws it at my face, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, GG. But yeah, getting back to the point on the white green mounts deck, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm sure I can make something work with it because it is a very straightforward mechanic. But it will be, like I said, it will be straightforward. It will probably be a lot easier to build. But I'm not necessarily like looking forward to doing that deck. But I do really enjoy doing these upgrade guides for new players. Oh Jesus, this is really bad. I'm gonna have to mulligan down to 5. Come on, that's only 1 land. There's 25 lands in this deck. I would like to do a deeper dive into like the history of certain decks. But I do only have so much time. Because like I am not a full-time content creator. I can put out as much as I can over like X amount of days. But I do work a lot, so I will get to each deck as I can. But like as far as like digging into like the history of certain decks, it is really fun. I do really enjoy it. Yeah, take action. Make tokens. Thank you. All right. I think I need to ossify that. Because he's just gonna dump his entire hand next turn if I don't deal with that right now. Give me a Novice Inspector. I think a lot of the white green token stuff is rotating out to make room for all of the new white green token stuff. Because I don't know if you've been keeping up with the spoilers, but white green is all about the tokens. It's all about rabbits and rabbits multiplying. Oh, thanks for making that Calyx larger for me. Now I can use Getaway Glamour on it. Oh. Even dumped an extra thing on it. Yeah, take action. Okay. Well, let's oh, hang on a second. We might be able to do both modes. Yeah, let's yeah, we can because we have the treasure token. Okay, so let's go ahead and go next. Going to attack with the Plunderer. Plunderer's going to pop you for 1. Then we will Glamour and do both modes. Target a non-token creature. We exile that and destroy that. Autopay. Yeah, you get to draw your card. And that comes back. Yeah, white green is like all about rabbits, rabbit synergies, generating a shit ton of tokens and pumping the team. It's going to get even better when Foundations comes out, because Foundations is giving us a an anthem that only costs a single green and a single white. It's going to be the best anthem that we have access to. We need to draw a card. That's still not good. Alright, let's go and put that up. Even if I attack in and he blocks with the Catilda, he's still going to gain 2 life back, and then it's going to become an enchantment for the other thing. I'm kind of at a loss here. I really can't attack. Also, check out this dude's name. Mudge Curdle. What the heck kind of name is that? I mean, it's an awesome name. Yeah. That kind of sucks. Take action. But at least he attacked with it now. Ooh. Let's get to trumpeting. Give me something good. Yeah, it was alright. Oh, I'm surprised. I expected him to double block the Generous Plunderer. Yep. 5 you get. Take action. Take action. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So let's start with an attack phase. Okay. Now let's continue with that. And I think that might be the win unless they have something. Nope, they don't have anything. Otherwise they would have dealt with the Trumpeter. Yes! They did not have anything for the Trumpeter. Well, there it is. Proof of concept. The deck can win. The deck can win. It beat a deck that may not be 100% meta right now, but did have a certain amount of meta share a good few months ago. Not too bad. Not too bad. I am pretty happy with that. Okay, so it is currently 8:40 p.m. I do have work early in the morning, but I think I have enough time for one more. So win or lose, we will play one more game, and that will be it for today. And when the video for this upgrade does go out, I will be completely honest, 100% transparency. I will let people know that this is a deck that you can play. It is a pretty fun deck, but it may not be the most powerful thing out there. Though, your mileage may vary, whereas I'm not having the best of luck. That doesn't mean that other people won't. I've played so many decks for the channel in the past that didn't do as well for me as they did for other people. Like I've had decks that had like maybe a 54% win rate, and I've had people come back and tell me, "Yo, dude, thanks for the deck. I won like 8 games in a row with this thing. I'm fucking climbing, bro." And I was like, you know what? Your mileage may vary, and I'm happy, so happy that it worked out for you. Oh, mono red again. Lucky me. Alright, let's play this. Let's plot out that Dynamis. Reckless Impulse. Wow, he's not even playing a creature this turn. He probably didn't have one to play. Let's see here. Now, let's play the Abraded Bluffs this turn, so that we can play the Geological Appraiser next turn. Alright, we get an Itching of Kumano. Pass. Pass. Take the 2, which is going to turn to 5. Oh, no, it's just 2. It's like our opponent is moving a little bit slowly today. I'm okay with it. Alright, my turn. Yeah. Is it the Arena Shuffler, the Matchmakers? Like, you can get any amount of just weird ass matchups. What I find really funny is when I try to build a deck that is just off the wall and I think that no one's gonna play it, the matchmaker will immediately find me a mirror match of what I just built. It's fucking wild. Alright. We got ourselves a Skewer Slinger. You better watch out. I'm gonna kebab ya. Granted, it's a pretty good defensive creature. I mean, it basically reads as a 2/3 reaching blocker. I mean, it's not the worst. And the fact that it does commit crimes. Yeah, it really is something else. Oh, come on. Fine. Yeah, we'll block. They'll both die. I have not seen that card in a long time. Alright. Mountain. Dust Animus. And... oh, no. We're gonna hold on to the Getaway Glamour in case he tries to mess up my creature. Alright, Lightning Strike. Throw another thing at it. Token creature to exile that, and then deal to that. Auto pay. You better do this right, Getaway Glamour. Exile my thing first. Okay, that works. Cool. Now your board is completely empty. That works for me. Alright, let's go and play the Volcano. Right now our opponent is in top deck mode. Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and play the Plunderer. And then we play the Atali's Favor on said Plunderer. And discover 3, which is going to be Magda. Welcome to the party, friend. Play planes. That is a pretty cool alt art for Magda. I like that a lot. Aw, man. What a joik. Yeah, let's make some tokens. Alright, Novice Inspector. You know, let's do this Discover thing over here right now. We might find something good. Or another Novice Inspector. Attack. Take 1 extra damage. This is typically the part where a mono red deck just kind of quits. But apparently not. Alright. But we'll play the Appraiser first. Whatever. Getaway Glamour. I'm just gonna put that in my hand. There it that. Then we'll exile your guy. And then there's the concede. Nice. Very nice. Okay. I think that is a great stopping point for tonight. So, I will do this again tomorrow. I am working fairly early, so I'll probably be off probably around 2 p.m. my time. For reference, I'm PST, so it's almost 9 o'clock right now. So, if you're subscribed to the channel, you'll see a notification go out. They'll let you know when I go live. So, if you want to hang out with me again tomorrow and upgrade some decks with me, you'll see the notification. So, until next time, y'all take care of yourselves.